Sergeant Arms and your president for this evening. I would normally tell you where the emergency exits are, but I will leave that to you in case. But please do keep your, I guess for an online meeting, please do keep your screens on, because our speakers, it's great to be able to see your lovely faces and to see you enjoying people speaking. Do make use of if you are in a space where you can make use of that, please do. I'm sitting down, but do please feel free to stand up and gesture and gesticulate, because I think that'll really bring it to life. Phones off as always. Julie, do we normally mute when other people are speaking, or is it good for people to be able to hear laughter and stuff? Or what do you normally do in online meetings?
We're doing the time, yeah?
Okay.
We'll do it next week. Get prepared.
I think we're okay, Phil. As long as there's not too much feedback, I think we're okay.
All right, cool.
It's a little bit of reverb there.
Oh, maybe should I mute mine when Dad's talking?
Yeah. That was okay. That was fine.
Okay. And in terms of an introduction, well, this is, as we were saying, this is an unusual set of circumstances that we found ourselves in, but it's really lovely to have you all here. I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of my working day on calls like this in front of internet-based people. So, you might think, well, what's the point of us having Toastmasters, given that we're all holed up at home? But actually, I think, this is more important than ever. Communication skills are communication skills. And if this is the way the world's going to be for the next few months or more, then, being able to communicate clearly and concisely is just as important as ever. And I think, being able to do that in a compelling way in this forum as well is really important as well. I was trying to rearrange the Easy Speak to move it to Zoom, and I found out that this is Toastmasters Lewisham Speakers 237th meeting, and I think it's really lovely that we are all, even in these very kind of unusual circumstances, even though we can't meet face to face, I think it's lovely that we're all still here, still coming out as a community. I think there's a real risk that as this wears on, that people could end up being lonely and potentially isolated. So I think that having that lovely warm community and that ability for us to come together every couple of weeks, I think is valuable and important. And I hope that's something that you will continue to enjoy and embrace. I think that's everything from me. So we're really glad to have a fantastic Toastmaster to host this unusual evening. He's cool, he's experienced, he's energetic, and he's gonna be a fantastic host. So please welcome Donovan Grant. Oh, sorry, I should also say we're recording this meeting. So if anyone has any problems with that, let me know. Donovan.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And who would have thought in 1905, when Toastmasters first began, I wonder if Mr. Toastmaster himself thought we'd be doing an online meeting. Now, this meeting, the theme is New Beginnings. It's Go For It, New Beginnings. And this is definitely a new beginning for Lewisham Speakers. It's our inaugural online meeting, and I'm sure it's going to be the best one that we've ever done. So, what is Toastmasters? Toastmasters is a great opportunity for us to speak, for us to listen, for us to evaluate, and for us to just grow as individuals, as professionals, and just as people as well. Like-minded people connected in a like-minded way and just making a difference so that we can go outside of our four walls when the time is right and make a difference for others. So today we've got a really amazing program. We've got a program which is split in two halves. We've got prepared speeches where our speakers have gone away and done a lot of heavy lifting and practicing to get ready for today. And then in the second half, we have got table topics, which is the impromptu speaking. And we'll share more about that later on. Also, not to forget the evaluation, because evaluation is probably one of the best things that we get out of Toastmasters, in that we learn from someone else's perspective how well we're doing. What do we need to work on? What do we need to improve? And what are we doing well already? So that's pretty much how the program is going to go. And to get us going, I've got a someone who's sitting very close to me. It was our warm-up leader, and she's one of our newer speakers. She joined Toastmasters late last year, and she's growing from strength to strength. And I'd like to introduce our warm-up leader for today, none other than Nadine Grant. Welcome, Nadine.
Hey everyone. So as the theme, like Dad said, is new beginnings, I thought that as the warm-up is all about getting our energy up and increasing our vocal cords, and at the moment, even though we're leading towards spring, it's getting brighter in the evenings. What it'd be great to do in about like 10 seconds is just say what you look forward to doing in spring. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just kind of go through everyone's names so that we don't all yell out at once. Dad?
You have to go on mute.
Oh, hang on.
So what I love about spring is when I look out the patio windows in daylight and I see the first daffodil surfacing. Because when I see the first daffodil surfacing, I know that it's getting warmer and good times are coming.
Great, Fernando.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
It's me now?
Yeah.
I'm joking. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share something here. I'm going to share my screen.
Just so it's just the warm up at the moment. So just what's your favourite thing to do as it comes to spring?
Sorry about that. Sorry. I really apologize about that. But let's go. What should I say? Sorry about that. Sorry, I was in another place. Sorry.
That's all right.
What should I say?
Yeah. So what's your favourite thing about spring?
My favorite thing about spring. Please explain that to your question. Sorry about that.
So sorry, and I realised I didn't actually give my one, so that probably didn't help either. So yeah. For me, I love going on long walks in my local park. So just being around nature and just really being surrounded by nature. So what do you love about spring? Okay,
I love to cycling. I like to go to the park and cycling, be near the nature. I love that.
Great, awesome. Michaela and Tony, I think you're next.
Yeah. Yes. Can you see it?
Yeah. What's your favourite thing about spring?
Flowers.
And Tony?
Going out for a walk, getting the atmosphere and seeing people being happier coming out of winter.
Yeah, definitely. And Samuel, what's your favourite thing about nature?
The clocks will go forward soon, longer days, which means more time for me to cycle in the sunshine.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And Tony, other Tony, are you there? Oh no, maybe not. Okay, let's move. Phil?
My favourite thing about spring, I've got a sweet tooth, so I'm quite looking forward to eating lots of chocolate Easter eggs.
That's a good, yeah. Dave?
My favourite thing about spring is, again, the lighter evenings. I was thinking about this the other day, and I think it's just the fact that you can do more. Well, for me, it's more sport in the evenings. So use the evenings to do something and get fitter, and then also enjoy a beer garden occasionally as well.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Mark? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. My favorite thing about spring is usually what everyone else said, but it'll be just enjoying the time outside that I spend from my house to the shop and back again, because it's the only time we're going to get outside, I think, for the next few months.
Very true. Julie, what's your favorite thing about spring? Julie? Are you there?
Julie?
You're viewing Julie's screen. Oh, you got a picture.
Very good, very good.
Okay, Patricia?
Yeah, I think what I like about spring is almost like everybody else. I like the long days and doing sports in the evening, and to know that summer is coming.
Yeah, definitely. And then
yeah.
Mark Harris.
Thank you. What I like about spring, I love waking up in the morning and hearing the birds chirping and singing away, and the sounds, and seeing the light, the light peering through the windows and the rays, and it's just like, you know, hearing it all, it's just like, wow, nature, man. It's just like, wow, like rebirth, life again. Life is being put out there again, because it's just taken so long to come around. And when you're hearing it at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's just pow. So yeah, that's what I love.
That's a great. And Richard?
Well, I've finally learning to play the guitar after 62 years, and I can sing a little bit. So I'm looking forward to the gigs that I'm going to do in London Bridge Station. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if anyone wants to come and support me, you know, or join the band, they're welcome.
That's great. And Annalise?
My favorite about spring, I think it's spend time outdoor, like in the garden, enjoying having a meal there, and removing layers as well.
Yeah.
Free myself a little bit.
And Carla?
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
So what I love about spring is all the little baby animals that you see that are being born, and also the evenings it's getting darker later. That's what I absolutely love.
Yeah, definitely. Is that everyone? I hope I've covered everyone. I think so.
Yeah. Have you got a list there, Nadine? Because you've got a good memory if you haven't.
I just know everyone. I know everyone's name, so I've just got you all. No. Okay.
You gonna go on mute?
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me mute myself.
Thank you very much, Nadine, for warming us all up. And I can tell by the looks on the faces that everyone is getting warm and they're getting eager to get into the program. So we have got a guest timer today, and it's none other than our president, Mr. Phil Reynolds. Phil, can you tell us about the timekeeping you're going to be doing today?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. So, yeah, you may not feel like it at the moment, but time flies when you're having fun. And as speakers, it's really important that we all keep to time. If you look at the agenda that I have sent in the chat thread, you will see that everybody who speaks tonight has a time associated with them, a green, amber, and red. And so I'll start the timer. And we will, at the green, I will show you the green marker pen, a yellow, which means you've reached the minimum time. I'll show you the yellow at the medium, which means you're right in the middle, and red towards the end, which means you might want to think about winding up. And if you talk for too long, I have the power to mute you. So I'll just do that. So.
Awesome, thank you, Phil. The power of the mute. Don't underestimate it. So we don't have a grammarian today. Julie, just did you say you had a word of the day that you wanted us to use? We can't hear you, Julie. You're muted.
Online.
Online is the word. Online is the word of the day. Wow, what a great word. So we are online, and I forgot to welcome our first online guest as Lewisham speakers. Annalise, we're great to have you with us, our first guest. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we are now going to move into the phase of the prepared speeches. And as I say, our speakers have been away for a couple of weeks, and they've been, preparing especially for this moment. So it'd be great to welcome them. I guess applause works online. We'll find out shortly. So our first speaker is Patricia Gomez, and Patricia, this is like a second coming at Lewisham Speakers, and this time she's here to stay. I can tell, because what I've seen from Patricia is that she's really embraced the spirit of Lewisham Speakers. She's got that energy about that she wants to grow, she wants to learn. and she wants to be a better speaker, be more engaging, and I've definitely seen a growth in her recent speeches. So today's speech from Patricia is believe in yourself, and I know that Patricia is going to bring a really amazing message to us. So if we'd like to welcome Patricia Gomez and believe in yourself.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's been quite scary the couple of weeks. I have to say, I even tried to delay this speech, but here I am. I prepared this for the past 2 weeks. This is my second speech, as Donovan have mentioned. So this speech today in my pathway is the research. So these last 2 weeks, I've done a research on the public fears, the fear of public speaking. And what I would like to present today is some facts, some data on how what fears that people have when they need to do public speaking, and also share some example of people who has the same fear as you have, and conclude with some tips on how you can improve your public speaking. So I would like, I can't see everyone's face, but I just would like to ask yourself if you ever thought about death, if you have fears about death, especially now what is happening with the coronavirus. I don't know what comes in your mind. So people, the society, think that death is the most common fear among people. And I fear of death. I think everyone thinks, I don't want to die. I've been working hard, I'm very ambitious. I want to have my life. And I've been living this country here now for 10 years. And I think like I have sacrificed a few things because I want them in the future. I want to have a long, happy life. And the only thing I don't want is to die now. But according to the Institute of Mental Health, public speaking is the most common fear among people. Apparently, 73% of the population has a fear of public speaking. 10% are totally terrified. So public speaking is the fear ahead of death, spiders, and heights. They are the most common fears. And this study has also reported that the most common fear is brain freeze. There are two main: is the brain freeze and judgment. And everyone has got one of those. Or you fear that you're gonna come up on the stage and people are looking at you and you don't know what they are thinking, and you hold yourself back. You're not yourself, and or you think you're gonna be lost of words. So one of the two. It would be either brain freeze or the judgment. And what put people off, what they don't continue to develop themselves, the main reason people don't continue to improve their public speaking is because perfectionism. You don't believe, but a lot of people just drop off. They look at that famous he's a president. Look how beautifully he speaks. Look at my manager. She speaks so well. I'm never going to be like them. I believe that yourself might have felt that, because I look at my colleagues at work and I say, oh my gosh, I really wish I could speak like her. I could have the promotion. And you never think that we are good enough. So we kind of don't continue our journey to improve our public speaking. But apparently there are a lot of high-profile people that has the same fear as you have when we started the program. So I was reading, I found 3 people. I found them the most interesting about their journey and how they overcome their public speaking. One of them was the former US President, Abraham Lincoln. When he was president, every time that he had to do a public speaking, he would take someone else with him. He would have always a substitute, because if he couldn't deliver the speech, the person would be there. So he felt like he had a backup. He had that person. And Adele, I think almost you all know, the famous British singer, in her career, in the early of her career, she would be physically sick. She would vomit before going to the stage. Now she's better, but in the beginning she couldn't face. And if you think like she's so talented, and she was very scared. And the most paid public speaker, Richard Branson, when he started doing public speaking, he would almost turn his back to the audience. He couldn't face the audience. He always had, because he's got the fear of judgment, so he would think that he couldn't face the audience. Now he developed these techniques that every time that he has to give a speech, he would ask, he would do like questions and answers and always play a video. So he also developed a few ways that he could improve. I think everyone has got their own way also has got their own style for public speaking. And yeah, so you are not alone in this journey. And what they say, there are two main techniques that can set you for success. They say the first one is to do your research. When you do your research and you are confident what you are going to speak, is more likely that you're going to deliver a good speech. So always do your research, and practice makes perfection. So you always do your research and you have to practice. And the third technique would be for you to find out what is your technique. Not the technique. Well, like the third tips will be find your own style. Find where you think you can improve. They say before you go to stage, one day if you can, just write down how you're feeling before you go to stage. When you are there, just think about your feelings as well, write it down. And then you can afterwards process everything and see where your fears are and try to come with a technique to have your own style for public speaking. So it's always going to be the main one is research. Do your research, you're confident with your speech, practice, and find your style, find your technique. So I'm very pleased. I hope you enjoyed the facts and the examples that I have shared with you today. So well done for coming here tonight, especially with the circumstances and the conditions that we have here. And just believe yourself, because I believe in yourself. So just continue your journey. And thank you so much for your time, for listening today. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Awesome. Great to hear you speaking again. So, Mr. Timer, actually, just before I say that,
if everyone, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there's a chat box. If you click on the chat box and select Patricia's name, I think it's Patty MKT. Yeah. If you just put a simple bullet point, one thing that you liked about what you commend her for, and one thing that you would recommend for her. So just a bullet point sort of answer. For example, very relaxed and confident might be one that you might do. And, you know, similar thing, one for recommendations. So if you give us, call it 75 seconds, Mr. Timer on the clock, just to allow for the online negotiation.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Timekeeper. So one thing I forgot was to introduce Richard as Patricia's evaluator, and he would have given the objectives, but Richard, being a true professional, he just knew it, and he's fully ready. But thanks, Rich. Apologies for not announcing you earlier. So we're moving on to the second speaker, and the second speaker is going to be Fernando. Fernando's evaluator is Mark Wood. And Mark, if you could give us Fernando's objectives, please.
Yep. So Fernando's objectives, well, his speech is his icebreaker on presentation mastery. So his objectives are to deliver a speech on any topic as an introduction to the club using any style that appeals. And Fernando's speech is called I Am From.
Brilliant, brilliant. So before I introduce Fernando, I'd just like to say Fernando is a new member of our club, and Fernando, there's something about him. He's magnetic, he's energetic, and he's always got a smile on his face. And I so look forward every time he's there and he's going to be speaking, because I know that he's definitely someone who gives you 100%. And it's the epitome of a Lewisham speaker. So I know Fernando is going to bring us an amazing speech right now. So let's give him a rousing welcome to Fernando Alves Gama. Oh, hang on, he's muted. Let me unmute him. Here we go.
I'm just going to start sharing my screen here. So, yes, my screen.
We cannot see anything for the moment.
No.
No.
Just a second. Can you see now?
No.
You have to open your screen before you show us, and only share after your screen is open.
Well, I'm going to screen, start broadcast. Is it okay?
No. You exit your screen sharing.
Well, I went to share content. I went to screen.
Exit your full screen. Then open whatever you wanted to show us in the application in which it works.
Okay. So I cannot share the screen. I need to open the. Sorry, this is my first time. Sorry about that. I don't know how to do that.
What you want to show us?
I've got a key point presentation.
So open the presentation first on your computer without sharing your screen.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, Mr. Timekeeper, if you can adjust accordingly.
So perhaps now you can begin.
Can you start now? Hello?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. Away you go.
Okay, this is my first speech, and it's going to be hard for me because I cannot move here, okay? But I will do my best to do a good speech. Please, my fellow Toastmasters, guests and friends, just get your popcorn, drinks, and relax, because I'm going to tell you the story of my life. I was born in Brazil, in a small city in the middle of the state of São Paulo. I'm the only one in my family who decided to leave the country. This is my father, my mother. They are my best friends, and I got a daughter. She's 16 years old. A little boy who is 4 years old. And sorry about that. This is my family. I've got a big family in Brazil. All of them, they are living in Franca now. I believe we came to this planet to develop our spirit and learn through our mistakes and experience. And I believe what motivates us every day to give the next steps is to think one day we are going to be in a better position. The fantasy is about what we haven't got, and we don't know. Tomorrow we're going to be in a better position. It's what gives energy to keep going on life. All my life, I have been a scientist. If you see this picture here, I was with 20 years, and I was doing the university in São Paulo. And always, I have been living my life trying to go out of the comfort zone. Thinking one day I will be in the position I would like to be, and I will be fulfilled. And my fellow Toastmasters friends, I would like to share with you, if it's possible, about my journey. During my journey, I have been working for my last 42 years. I can tell you, during the time works, I used to work in different international companies. I have been working for the government, and during the evenings, I have been doing some different university courses, and in a good university in Brazil. And what I learned in this journey is we are, as a human being, we describe ourselves as a rational people. But what I learned, we are not rational people. We are totally emotional people. And all our decisions are made through emotions. And I would like to share with you, if it's possible, something I did learn in this journey. First, the people who have a great personality, the people who have a giant personalities, is not the one who's acting, going outside every day and fight with everyone. The people with a giant personalities, the people who respecting the family, respect the friends, respect the colleagues, in their old ways, they work with with respect. Another thing I did learn in my life, we need to try to live our life exploring what the best in people around us. But we should be trying to get only what they can do to us. Never try to get from them more they can give to you. Because if you do that, can be today, can be not tomorrow, but they can go against you. For me, the secret of the happiness is how to learn how to manage our feelings, managing our energy. I can say another word, to be happy. Happiness is an inside job. And it's not about, I cannot say it's not about, it's not in another house. The happiness is not in another house, it's another relationship, is another country, but the happiness is about the inside. It's inside of us. And our mind has the power to change our world. Our mind can make our world worse, or can make our world better. And how you can do that? We can do how you can make our life is better. How we can improve our world. I believe we can improve our world when we start to go out of our comfort zone. We stop to talk with the negative mind and we start to talk only with the positive mind. And I know sometimes we try to do our best, but the world going out of our control. But the solution is how I can answer these challenges of my life. How can I give better answers for the world? My fellow Toastmasters, friends and guests, what I believe, what we should be doing here. Let's go here together to learn with each other here, using all the support from the Toastmasters, and learn how to spread a positive speech where we live every day, and through that become a better leaders. Also, I would like to do an exercise with you now. how we can do a better answer for the life. First, we need to believe in ourselves. We need to believe we have the power. For to believe we have the power, let's go to start that now. I will ask all of you now if you can take 2 minutes and close your eyes. I'm not able to see all of you now, okay? But please just close your eyes and think what you keep doing, what you should be doing to make your life better. I believe a lot of things come to your mind. Please, just find 3 activities do you think is the most important? And take a piece of paper and you write down in a piece of paper, okay? After you do that, take these 3 priorities. I believe you can see yourself on the screen now. I am going to ask you to look in your eyes, and say to you, I have the power to change my life. And I'm going to live the life I dream. I'm able to do that, and I'm going to start today to do that. My fellow Toastmasters, this is...
Thank you.
That's your time.
Yeah, thank you, Fernando. The timer's the timer's giving you a round of applause. That can only mean one thing, Fernando. Right, let's get the screen back. Where is he? Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much, Fernando, for that speech. I think the timer called you out there, so well, you got muted. It's called the power of the mute. But that's an amazing speech, and thank you very much. So everyone, once again, if we can go to the chat, and if you pull down Fernando's name from the list where it says 2, let's just check. Yep, Fernando Gamma. Click on Fernando Gamma and give it. Nadine, go on mute, please.
I'm on mute. Oh.
If you tell Fernando one thing that you commend him for and one thing that you'd recommend for his next speech to make it even better. So if you could give us 75 seconds again, Mr. Timekeeper.
Okay.
Got more. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Timekeeper. So our third speaker, unfortunately, had to drop out for personal reasons. So we don't have a third speaker today, but what we do have are a couple of spotlight sessions. And the first one, I'm going to ask Mark, if you can give us some, just give us some insights around, we're around a renewal period, and I'm sure you've got some good messages you'd like to share with us, Mark. Mark Woods, that is.
Yeah, thanks. Just to mention that it's renewal time for the club. Now, normally the renewals period would be up to would be due at the 30th or 31st of March, should I say? But due to all the fun and games we're having, we are wanting to, Toastmasters are actually extending that to the 30th of April. Now, we still have to have renewals in, pay those, and it's a renewal of £75 for 6 months. So although they're extending the deadline effectively, we still pay for the 31st of March up to the 30th of September. So I know I've sent around an email before. I'll send around another friendly reminder as such on WhatsApp and by email over the next few days. All I would say is that sometimes it can be a bit tricky to track down payments, etc., in the actual account itself. So what I would say is, if you do pay, do let me know. If I've chased you and you've already paid up to the 30th of September 2020 already, just let me know as well, and we can get that checked out. But yeah, I think most people have paid up to the 31st of March. So please do pay, but and I'll be setting my reminders on that over the coming days. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Mark. So the second spotlight is actually going to be Nadine Grant. She's in the same room as me, so we're going to have to get this muting thing organised, Nadine. So Nadine took part in the contest, in the area contest recently. She won the contest for evaluator. So just going to get some insights from Nadine about her experience as a competitor. So so Nadine, congratulations. We're all proud that you stepped up to the plate. First attempt, you won the club contest, went on to area contest. What would you say was maybe the most awesome thing about competing in a contest for you?
I thought it was a great experience, and I think the most awesome thing was just to see the different speakers who also competed. So it just kind of made me sort of step up my level, because I was seeing the other people who I was kind of competing against. So yeah, that.
Okay. And the experience at Beckenham is a lot bigger audience, and is a lot bigger venue the way it was as well. What was that experience like for you? Tell us maybe what was the most challenging thing about that experience?
I guess the most challenging thing was probably the nerves. So obviously it was in a different venue and it was in front of different people. So I think when you do it at the club, you know everyone, so it's more sort of friendly and you're more aware of everyone who's kind of more supportive. But going to Beckenham was a bit nerve-wracking, but I think people were still supportive, so yeah, it kind of encouraged me.
Thank you. And I personally like to, anytime I get new experiences, learn something from it. So share with us maybe one thing that you've learned about maybe yourself or about Toastmasters or anything about the contest that you've learned.
I think it's kind of my evaluation technique. So I hadn't really given many evaluations before entering the contest, so I didn't really know much about how to do the evaluation, but I actually watched quite a few on YouTube. So just kind of seeing how different people present the evaluations gave me some tips on the different kind of formats and flows that you can kind of use to present the evaluations. So I think that was quite useful for me, just to kind of learn to develop my actual technique and have a kind of structure of giving the recommendations and the commendations that we kind of give.
Brilliant, brilliant. And final question, really. Just imagine that the area contest is this week, Saturday. What would be one thing that you would do different that you didn't do last week, which you think would have made a big difference for you?
Good question. I think that seeing the other contestants, quite a lot of them didn't actually have any aids, so they were just kind of talking freestyle. So I think you get about 5 minutes to kind of go through your notes. So I think using that time to kind of absorb what I've learned and then just kind of deliver it as I would a speech. If I did it again, I'd probably try and do something like that, just so that I wasn't kind of holding like a piece of paper as a barrier between me and the audience, maybe. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Nadine. It's really great, I think, for all of us when we get these experiences that we share it with others in the club, because there's opportunities for learning just in hearing someone else's story. So yeah, thanks a lot, Nadine. Appreciate it. So, yeah, some claps there. Well done, well done. So we are moving up. Yeah. Hey, you got a fan club there. What's going on? Right, so we are moving on to the evaluators. So our first evaluator is not a stranger to any of us. He's at a mini sabbatical and he's back amongst us. Everyone knows Richard. He definitely brings energy, he brings excitement, and he's a great all-round entertainer. So I'd like to introduce Richard Greene.
Thank you, Donovan. My fears. I think everyone can relate to this speech, and it was extremely engaging. Now, I couldn't obviously see Patricia's body language, but she looked very relaxed when she was delivering this speech. And for me, I felt that her vocal just flowed beautifully. I thought that because you're focusing on listening more so than ever in this circumstance, I felt that Patricia's vocal variety was full of life and very natural. And I feel that if Patricia, and she will be able to carry that vocal and that feeling and that relaxed confidence to her in an auditorium with 50, 100 people. I feel that she will eventually be a brilliant public speaker. And the thing that I liked was that everybody could take so much away from this speech, because it was so true that we have feelings of judgment where we want to be perfect and that we're not good enough. And I've certainly felt those many, many times when I've stood up in front of people, and they can't see that, but that's what I felt. And she gave us some great tips. There's lots of research, practice, and find your style. And I think that was the key. And for me, that was the absolute essence of this speech. And find your style, which we've all got our own style. And that's what we're discovering when we're going on this journey, which we're going on when we're coming to Toastmasters. I'm glad there's not an R counter tonight. So yeah, but I think another great thing was that Patricia, her face lit up when on certain expressions when she was very pleased. Another very good tip. So for us all. In closing, she said that believe in yourself, and I thought that was an incredible tip also, because we all need to believe in ourselves. So thank you very much, Patricia. You've got lots to be going forward with. You're going to be a great public speaker. You're natural. You've got confidence there, and certainly believe in yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Richard. And our second evaluator is Mark Wood, and Mark is evaluating Fernando. Mark is someone that I think I've known him over 3 or 4 years, and what I see about Mark is that he's always cool, calm, and collected. But what I know about Mark is there's so much going on underneath the surface. He's a man who pays attention to detail. And if I wanted someone to be evaluating me, Mark is definitely someone I would know that I'll get a really good evaluation. So please welcome Mark Wood.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay, Fernando, for an icebreaker, I thought Fernando did an excellent job. I know that we got the full life story, and it was really good to see. Actually, we talk about icebreakers kind of being the idea of tell us a little bit about yourself, and sometimes we kind of veer off that a little bit, but I think that's definitely what we got from Fernando's speech this evening. I suppose linking back to Patricia's speech about style, it's Fernando definitely has a unique style that definitely works for him. You can tell that's Fernando's personality, and it really does come out, and it's something that Fernando can really take to the next level, and it's something that's quite unique to him and works for him, so it's great to see. I thought the speech was organized really well in terms of in terms of one point leading on to another effectively, and going on from the life story to, I suppose, life lessons, really. And in terms of Fernando taking it again to the next level, from the first 30, 45 seconds, we can tell that Fernando's had a really interesting life, moved over from Brazil to the UK. But what it would have been quite useful to hear some of those, maybe one or two personal stories as sub-stories within the presentation. So, for example, if there was any stories about coming over to Brazil, coming over to the UK, or what was strange to find about the UK, or something like that. I mean, because I'd imagine with Fernando's character, there must be some interesting stories in there. So, so that would be one thing. The other thing would be that there was quite a lot of context content in there, and I know that maybe if Fernando probably had the content to spread it out over maybe 2 or 3 speeches, so maybe one speech about the life story and another speech about something, about the second part, because obviously Fernando ran out of time. So that would be another recommendation. There was a lot of content. And I suppose the third recommendation, this is probably, I know we had to go online quite quickly, so maybe Fernando had the idea of doing the presentation in front of us, so we could see Fernando as well as the presentation, but it would have been good to see Fernando himself actually, as well as a voice projection. So maybe if we're in this position again, it could be a case where Fernando does part presentation and then flicks back to him presenting himself, if that makes sense. Though I know, albeit this is probably our first ever Lewisham online speech, so that's probably a tad critical, but it's just something that so we like to see Fernando. He's quite a character, so that's all good. And overall, though, great speech. Really looking forward to hear more from Fernando, and this nice message about happiness and powerful message about positive thinking. So thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Great evaluation. Mr. Timekeeper, can you give us the times for the 2 prepared speeches and the evaluations thus far, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Patricia spoke for 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Fernando spoke for 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Mark spoke for 1 minute and 30. Nadine spoke for 3 minutes. Richard spoke for 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and Mark spoke again for 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, so we are gonna go for a short recess. According to this, I think it's 15 minutes. Is that right?
I can only play about 3 chords at the moment. It's so difficult. It's ridiculously difficult, because your fingers. It's great fun. It's good fun. It's brilliant.
Well, that's where learning comes from, isn't it? We all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, and you've got to start somewhere. And if it's fun, then you get along a lot quicker.
Definitely.
Don't forget my first gig at London Bridge Station.
Don't worry, I'll be standing next to you clapping. What?
Singing?
Clapping, mate. I'll be clapping, doing a little dance, clapping around you.
It might just be us though, right? No more commuters.
Well, yeah, it's all right at the moment. Yeah. I won't feel so nervous.
It's
a good time to start, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wanted to say I would like to go to.
No, it's because my
phone's told me
not on rotate.
To go to give his paper for the moment.
Sorry, what was that, Julie?
But I am not allowed to go out. So I cannot go to see. But Richard, perhaps you can take a video of yourself?
Yes. Oh, God, yeah, I can do that. I'll find out how.
When I went gigging, my son came and held her.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got a stand for the phone. I can record, yes, definitely. But my daughter said that she'll come and she would take the first at the recording.
Yes. And then we can look at it.
Yes. Well, I'll be famous, so.
We'll see him on TV instead.
Well, I'm not. Maybe
I
not.
don't know. I knew how to do it in my other phone, but hello, Kaylee. Can you come down and help me to do this phone?
I like your head, Dave.
Thank you. It's I just thought, you know, might as well change it up a little bit.
Jazz it up.
Props.
That's it.
Yeah. Also got measuring tape here. Don't know why. But there we go.
You look like a folk singer, Dave.
Thanks.
Oh,
On vocals.
There's actually an American guitarist called David Rawlins. He's got a
Is
band,
there?
country and western singer. I've never really met anyone with my
Brilliant.
name before, but his band's called the Dave Rawlins Machine.
Oh, wicked.
It's absolutely amazing. When I found this out about 10 years ago, I bought a t-shirt immediately and just kept wearing it.
You had to.
Yeah, it was
Try
amazing.
to speak, Mihaela.
Sorry?
Mihaela, can you speak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it going. My daughter came down. My daughter came down and did it for me.
Excellent. Right, we are bang on. We got 1 minute left. We give Annalise 1 more minute to come along. Perfect. Perfect. Welcome back, Annalise. And Samuel as well. Great. So we are back bang on 8:45, and during the recess, I noticed we've got a new guest. So Harren, I'd just like to welcome you as our second guest on Lewisham Speakers Online Speaking. So welcome, Harren.
Welcome.
Excellent. Right. So we are now moving into table topics, and table topics is a great part of the program, and we have an amazing speaker who's going to be introducing table topics this evening. He's one of our newer members. We call them the Fab 15 because we've had 15 new members in our current season that are really amazing people. And David Rawlins is one of those fab people. 1 minute you see him without a hat, next minute he's got a hat on. That's the kind of creativity that this guy brings. He's got dynamics. He's really entertaining. And unlike many other accountants that I know, he's a really interesting one. But I'd like to welcome, that's a private joke. I'd like to welcome David Rawlins, our topic master for the day. Welcome, David.
Thank you, everyone. So you may have noticed I'm wearing a hat, and I also have another adjustment to make. If you just give me 1 more second. It's my official Quizmaster hosting jacket. I've only done it once, but I thought if I'm hosting table topics, I might as well go the whole hog and wear a jacket I've only used once and bought off eBay for about £30 when I was drunk. So so here we go for another outing of the the Quizmaster jacket. So that's right, I'm doing table topics tonight, and I used to hate these. I used to fear them. As soon as I even heard about them, I just almost wanted to run away immediately. And the first time I was asked to do one of these, I didn't do it. But then the second time I put my hand up, I got involved, and I've actually learned to quite enjoy them. I love the adrenaline and the unknown, but also kind of, there's no pressure because you don't know what's coming anyway. You know, there's literally nothing you can prepare for, so you just got to go with it, roll with it, and give it a go. So that's what I kind of enjoy now. I think it's like the fight or flight. I'm kind of enjoying the potential fight and not flying. So table topics. So you have between 1 to 2 minutes to answer a question that I have set, 1 of 7 that some of you have volunteered for, or most of you have volunteered for. I have got one that I'm not sure if they did, but anyway, it's coming if you like it or not. You've got 1 to 2 minutes, and the theme I tried to include was spring means beginnings. So slightly varied approach on that, and not quite a consistent set of questions in some respects, but in many respects it does relate to this theme. So my first question is, what is your first sign spring has sprung? And that's for Samuel. And Samuel, the question again is, what is your first sign spring has sprung?
Muted.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you. I was just saying I do like the jacket. You need to wear it again.
Thank you.
My first sign that spring has sprung. I guess, as I alluded to in the warm-up, will be the longer days. I do loads of sports, mainly outdoor sports, tennis, running, cycling. And so when it's longer days, it's hopefully warmer days as well. So it's being outside more, exercising more. Other than that, I did plant some daffodil bulbs. I don't even know when, years ago, right? And so, bang, spring, and there they are, without me doing any work. They're actually outside my front door. So it's the perennial decoration of my outside front door. It says, bang, look, spring's here. So that as well, which is good because it happens without me doing any work at all, because I planted them a few years back. I wasn't actually looking at my clock, so I don't know how long I've spoken for, but I've run out of things to say. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Thank you indeed for that. So we have our next question, which again, you may spot the theme here, you may not, but it's nice and short and sweet, this one. And the question is, Bruce Springsteen or Jerry Springer? And that goes to Richard. So Richard, that again is Bruce Springsteen or Jerry Springer.
Wow, what a brilliant question, David. This, I'm going to answer it very, very swiftly because I am a rock star in the making. And Bruce Springsteen, every single time. Jerry Springer is a chat show host, and for me, I would love to be on stage strumming my guitar with the adulation of 100,000 people all rocking to my music. I'm 62 years old, and I've just recently, in the last 3 weeks, taken up a lifelong a desire that I wanted to do, which was playing the guitar. Now, also, I've always been able to string a few notes together singing wise, so I put the two together because I feel that the rock star in me is ready to come out. It's just dying to come out. And Toastmasters has been a huge part of this, because I would never be able to get up and sing and play the guitar. Well, I can't do it yet, but I know it's coming. Give it another 2 or 3 years down the line when I've got to grips with it all. But yeah, it's a super hobby. It's just a super thing that I'd love to do. You're gonna see me in London Bridge Station or one of the undergrounds. I'll be strumming away, trying to make it in the rock industry. because if you just look at all of the people that the rock star lifestyle, I love it. The long hair, the drink. We won't go any further than that, but all of those things are I just love it. And I think in another life, that is going to be me, the rock star, because I love the music, I love the instruments. So in answer to that brilliant question that you put to me, over Jerry Springer every single time, the boss, Bruce Springsteen. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Richard. A very thorough answer there. And I'm just really pleased that we're going to be, we are here at the embryonic stage of your future music career. Whether it be, a dirty corner of London Bridge or Glastonbury, we will be there every step of the way with you. So great answer there. Now, my third question is a little bit more, back to the norm, for now at least. And that is, what is your most life-changing moment? And that question is for Mr. Mark Wood. Mark Wood, what is your most life-changing moment?
I was hoping by unmuting the button, it would have given me a little bit more time to think about this, and it has, but whether that's given me opportunity to answer. Okay, I'm going to say, I'm going to be boring, which goes against the dazzling Dave and his jacket, is probably something which has happened in the last few months, which is the unspoken C word, which we'll get away from. It kind of, I think it's more so, maybe not the biggest thing, but it's something that kind of, I think, makes us really evaluate sort of what's important, sort of toilet roll aside, and hand sanitizer aside to a certain extent, in terms of thinking it could be a game changer. It could be it kind of goes to show you that kind of, one of my friends said 20 years ago when I was stressing for an exam, he said, at least you've got your health. And for some reason that really stuck with me, because it kind of popped into mind every now and again when it's kind of, if I've ever been really sick or anything like that. So that's kind of been something. It's kind of the value of kind of being able to kind of see people. I know Julie's mentioned about seeing her son, and even I've had to cancel going to see my parents and things like that. So yeah, but I think overall that's it. But I think there's also positives that could come out of this. We could just think, okay, us doing our first online meeting could be quite good, and also it's there's other things as well. More agile working could be a thing of the future as well. And also, it could make us actually really appreciate the time that we can spend, in person together, within 2 meters. So yeah, I'll be boring and say the thing right now. So passing you back.
Great, thank you very much, Mark. Very topical, very thought-provoking there. So really enjoyed that answer. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our next question, which is another short and sweet one. And it's another almost multiple choice element to this one. So it's New Zealand, New York, or New Malden. And that goes to Mr. Mark Harris. And that is New Zealand, New York, or New Malden.
Well, thank you. Well, New Zealand, New York, or New Malden? Out of all those places in the world, I would say for me, it'd have to be New Zealand. And the reason why is because there's a weird story what happened to me. Something really weird happened to me a couple of years back. One day I was at home, my son had went to Taekwondo, and he injured his leg. And he said that, he thinks he sprained his ankle. So anyway, I took him down to Lewisham Hospital. And it was early in the morning before school, got in there, and the place was deserted. There was nobody there. Walked in, and because he's a child, he gets seen straight away. So we're just sitting there, just talking and having a chat and a laugh and a joke. And it was like a really airy feeling. There was no one there. Nurse came out and said, look, what we'll do is we'll check him for, you know, see if he's broken his leg or, you know, if he's done anything to his ankle. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, appeared this lady. And this lady started to speak. And she said, what is it that you do? And I said, oh, I work with people and, you know, I have conversations with people. And she just looked at me and she goes, you need to go to New Zealand. And my son looked at me and I looked at him and was like, and she was like, no, you're really actually needed in New Zealand and you'll find yourself there. You need to go. That's the place for you to be. And the really weird thing about that was that other nurses came into the room and it was like no one could see this other nurse, only me and my son. So it was like, I was so confused and I was like, you know, how comes everybody's talking to us, but they're not communicating with this woman? And since then, I thought to myself, do you know what? I know my time is up. Well, not that my time is up now. Well, I know my time's up now, but I mean, it was just so weird. And my son even said to me afterwards, he turned to me and he said to me, Daddy, wasn't that crazy how that woman came out from nowhere and said that you need to be in New Zealand, you need to go. So for me, I believe in messages. I don't know how they come. So out of all of those three places, New York, New Malden, or New Zealand, it has to be New Zealand for me. Thank you very much.
Wow.
And that's true. That's true.
And it's almost like I was maybe just as a woman lurking in Lewisham Hospital, potentially. But I don't remember doing that myself. Anyway.
But it was a female nurse.
Yeah, I mean, I've got many talents. Yeah. You know what I'm doing. Anyway, super answer. And that's our fifth. We've got two more questions, I believe. Actually, three more. That was the fourth. And the next question is a bit of a longer one. And it is, if you had to move to a new town or city anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? And that is for Nadine. And Nadine, your question is, if you had to move to a new town or city anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Okay. If I had to move to a new town or city anywhere in the world, where would I go? I think at the moment I would go to San Francisco. So I'm like a creative, so I work in the tech world, and San Francisco is like the hub of where all the companies in the tech world are. And I think just going there, I've always had this image of me and my friend, we're always like, okay, when we like have enough money, we're going to go to San Francisco. And I think that it's just a hot, you've got beaches, you've got city, so it's like a mix of the two. And I think it's just a place which is very up and coming. And when I used to work at my old company, they always used to send people over to San Francisco to work, and everyone always used to come back and say they had the best time and it was amazing. So I feel like, yeah, if I had to go somewhere, it would be San Francisco.
Okay, great answer. Right, now we have two left, and the next question is slightly more, what's the word, philosophical. And the next question is, begin as you mean to go on, yes or no? And that question is for Annika. Annika, the question again is, begin as you mean to go on, yes or no?
I would say begin as you mean to go on, yes. Because once you start something, you need to carry on the way you started. If you start something and you are positive, you need to carry on being positive. So once you do one thing, the way you do one thing is the way you do another thing. So beginning something, start positive, and carry on being positive. I prefer being positive, and I don't look back. Once I carry on doing something, I'm positive and keep going. And in my philosophy, I rather said I did this than regret I didn't do it. So I do something, carry on, keep on going till I got to where I want to go. Thank you.
Great, fabulous answer. And you know, touching on what Mark said there, it's really, especially at the moment where people are trying new things, it's a great opportunity to continue with those behaviours and hopefully you know, master a few. So that brings us to our final question this evening, and our final table topic is: if you had to begin a new career tomorrow, what would it be and why? And the person I'm going to allocate that to is Fernando. So Fernando, if you had to begin a new career tomorrow, you might not have to be able to go into work, you might have to do it via online web chat. What would it be and why? Fernando.
Hi Dave, it's a brilliant question. It's something I always ask to myself, because I believe, like, if I'm going to start a new career today, I will choose between to be a solicitor or to be a doctor, because I believe the two professionals, they helping people on the worst time of their lives. I believe, like, if you are a doctor, you are there to save lives, and you become like all the knowledge you studying or over the years is going to be very helpful to change people's lives. And if you are a solicitor, it's very important as well, because I believe we are human beings. When you are a human being, we are able to make mistakes. I work now in HMCTS now. I have the opportunity to see criminals, and what I can see on them, they are like us. They are people like us, but the only difference, most of them, they cannot control their minds. They cannot control their behavior. And because of that, they do more mistakes than us. Because of that, I believe when you are a solicitor, you can help these people to start a new life, to have a new beginning. Because of that, if I can choose a new profession, if I can start again my life, I believe I will be studying to one of these professions.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Fernando. Very insightful response there, and something you've actually previously given some consideration to. So that's again, brilliant answer there. So that, I believe, wraps it up. I haven't done this before, so I think that's how it works. I think that's now me passing the baton on back to the Sergeant at Arms, Donovan.
Thank you very much, David. Let's just give David another silent round of applause. It is always good when someone steps up to the plate and does their first at anything. One of the things that Lewisham speakers, we embrace the fact that we think any member could do any role. So David, well done. Love the hat, the jacket. You could get a bit more money for that if you resell it on eBay, because I could see some eager eyes there thinking, oh, I could do all right in that. So, but yeah, thank you. It definitely made a difference online wearing that jacket. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Topic Master, please can you give us a report on the times for our 7 speakers, I think it was. Yep.
Thank you very much. So Sam spoke for 1 minute 23. Rich spoke for 2 minutes and 4. Mark Wood spoke for 2 minutes and 5. Mark Harris spoke for 2 minutes and 42. Nadine spoke for 1 minute and 5. Tony spoke for 1 minute and 10. And Fernando spoke for 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And it is really good to see that everyone broke the 1 minute barrier. We always say 1 minute is the absolute minimum if you're going to do an absolute minimum. So well done to all the speakers. Bill, just checking, you are still the topics evaluator? Yep, great stuff. So we are now going to have, in fact, Phil, let me say, I'll step in as the timekeeper for you, as you're currently timekeeper as well. So, and before I introduce you, let me just show you my green, amber, and red. So the green is my green pear. You can see that, Phil? Yep. Amber, obviously, lovely yellow banana. And red is going to be a juicy garlic apple. Okay, so you're okay with that, Phil? Great stuff. So our next speaker is the topics evaluator, and it's our president. He's an amazing guy. He's energetic, he's enigmatic, and he's just everything that we could want as a president. So welcome, Phil Reynolds.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. So Sam was asked, what was your first sign that spring had sprung? I really like Sam's speech. Sam has such a kind of lovely, relaxed kind of delivery. He told us a little story. He told us about how he likes to plant daffodil bulbs, which I thought was really nice. My recommendation to Sam was that it's difficult to see on the display. He looked a little kind of hunched over. So my recommendation to Sam is perhaps to find a way to make more use of the space. He could have kind of come out here and gestured a bit more and done kind of digging motions and things. But I thought it was a really lovely story. Rich was asked Bruce Springsteen or Jerry Springer. Rich answered the question really directly. He said, "Oh, absolutely, Bruce Springsteen." What I really liked about Rich was that he came out a little bit further, and so he had his hands here, and he's doing this, he's doing this. So I thought that was really good. He had an absolutely lovely little conclusion as well. He brought in, he was talking to us earlier about his guitar, and he was giving us a little solo in the break. So it was really, I thought it was very. If the whole point of Table Topics is to kind of think on your feet, it was a really clever way to kind of bring in things we've been talking about this evening. So I thought that was a really, really strong table topic. Mark Wood was asked, what's your most life-changing moment? And he chose something very contemporary, and he told a story, which is always really powerful. What I particularly liked about Mark's table topic is the kind of the humour and the dark humour. We're all in a very uncertain time, and we're all a little bit nervous. But kind of toilet roll aside, I thought it was a nice little dry bit of humour. I thought it was really good. I thought it ended on a really profound note. I thought it was really nice. My recommendation to Mark is he because of the way he's using his headphones, he had to speak into his headset mic, so that stopped him being able to kind of gesture and gesticulate as he might have done. Mark Harris was asked New Zealand, New York, or New Malden. Mark is a really engaging speaker, and I always really enjoy everything he says in Toastmasters or anywhere else. And he has such a great voice. He has such a great tone. You really feel he drew every bit of that story out, didn't he? The place was deserted, he said, and he had that lovely emphasis and that really nice pause. He had a really nice conclusion. And my only recommendation to Mark is to perhaps keep to time, because he was knocking on the very end of he nearly got muted, but he didn't, which is good. Nadine was asked if you had to move to a new town or city anywhere in the world, where and why. Nadine did a really clever technique to buy herself a little time. She repeated the question. She had a really clear answer. She talked about San Francisco. She talked about the beaches. My only recommendation to Nadine is perhaps to speak for a little longer. If she told a story, she started talking about her career and how it might take her there, but perhaps there was more that she could have kind of mined from that to tell a bit of a longer story. Tony was asked, beginners, you mean to go on, yes or no? He said yes, and again, Tony has great use of his hands as well. We really felt he was doing this, and he used the hands to talk about beginning, middle, and end, which I thought was really good. My recommendation to Tony again would be to see if he talked about it being his personal philosophy, but is there a way for him to give an example of when he'd start as he meant to go on, or where something had perhaps not gone as well as he might have liked, where actually his kind of dedication, his tenacity had helped him through, and that might have enabled him to speak for a little bit longer. And finally, Fernando was asked, if you had to begin a new career tomorrow, what would you do and why? He said, again, a really clear answer, solicitor or doctor, and he talked about the kind of profundity of that and how they're saving lives. My only recommendation to Fernando is his voice. He's got a really lovely, kind of deep, powerful voice, and I think that's a real asset. But, perhaps as Fernando becomes a more confident speaker, he could think about perhaps varying the tone of it a bit, kind of going quieter to draw people in. When talking about saving lives, he could make his voice a little quieter, and saving lives to really emphasize the point and bring out a bit more emotion from it. But I thought everybody did absolutely fantastically, particularly as we have people who are new speakers. So congratulations, everybody.
Thank you very much, Phil. I didn't get a chance to flash my red gala apple, so you did really well to get all those 7 evaluations within the time frame. So next up, we have a lady who's going to do a dual role. She's going to be a grammarian stroke general evaluator. Now, Julie Kertesz, the first word comes to mind is amazing. You know, Julie, as we know, she's our senior player at this game, and she still brings it more than people much younger than her. I admire Julie. Julie's a mentor of mine. I will ask Julie questions about speeches I give, evaluations I give, and I know I'm going to get really good feedback. So, so Julie's going to come. She's going to give us some grammarian and some general evaluators. So please welcome the amazing Julie Kertesz.
So first, let me begin like grammarian. Like grammarian, I try to listen. Who will tell and ah? No one. No one. I did not hear one. What I did hear is some nice phrases, like Richard. The guitarist want to come out of me. Everyone laughed. It worked. Mark Harris. I know my time is up. We didn't know what it is about. The time is up. It was ambivalent, and that was funny also. Not only sad, but funny. And Mark Wood was almost the only one, perhaps Donovan once, from whom I heard online. It is easy to tell online, but I didn't hear. Now, let me begin like general evaluator. We begin the meeting on time, but most of you arrive late. In a meeting, we arrive online even more, half an hour before. Not 10 minutes before, not 15 minutes before, but half an hour. In order to have time to settle the computer if it doesn't work, the sound if it doesn't work, and of course the role who are not given to anyone, which you have to fill. So let's come early instead of having 15 minutes in the middle where we could do not mix together. Let's come earlier and stay later. That would be better in my opinion. We had a wonderful Toastmaster of the meeting who knew what we have, what we don't have, what roles have to be filled, and he filled very fast the roles. So everything but the general evaluator who was given to me last minute. But I loved even that. We had a wonderful timekeeper, really modest. He was there, gave us the time, but didn't stand in the face of us. And then we had Donovan also, a very short timekeeper. He had fruits, funny. You can do a lot of different things online, which are a lot of fun, which we don't do usually when we meet face to face. We had a wonderful table topic master with a hat and a fancy blue coat and question that made everyone answer something personal, funny from I never heard so much laughter for a long time that we had seen of everyone's face while people were answering to Dave's rolling question. So very well done. The only thing I would like to tell you, and you will see it recording, when you stood up, you balanced like this. That perhaps you do it in real life also, I don't know. But on the screen you see it even more. So, and Richard, when you make like this with your hands, it stands really out. So better to do hand gestures horizontal on screen than like this. I know that you like to go on the face very near people, and it works sometimes, but it works a lot less well. Playing guitar worked better because it was not too near us. Evaluation were both on the top. I liked both evaluation, and I liked what both evaluators said. Patricia and Fernando could have given, of course, a lot more about themselves. But they will learn this time that more we speak about ourselves, like in table topics, more the audience loves us and enjoys and remembers. Because remembering who famous someone, what did or told, we hear it, but we don't really remember. I don't. But if you tell something about yourself, we can remember years and years and years later. So instead of trying to make rich, tell about yourself. That is my advice. I am very happy that Mihail and Tony was able to sit down and have a computer like they wanted and found out for themselves what to do. So wonderful. So it is normal at the beginning to have problems. I think it was not normal that we didn't have more problems, all of us here. And I am here even at the end. Deborah and Peter arrived, and I hope that after the meeting a little bit we will be able to ask to speak Annelies and everyone who didn't speak. My ambition when I am online is to have no one who doesn't speak, even if a little bit, but let us do it. Donovan.
Thank you, Julie, for both the grammarian and the GE evaluation. Really, really amazing. As I say, when Julie is a very experienced speaker, and she always shares some stuff with us. What I would do when you get an evaluation line, I think, what is maybe one thing that I personally could do different next time? So there was a lot of information there. So maybe everyone thinking, what's the one thing that I could take away from Julie? And that was really, really good. So my job as Toastmaster for today is pretty much up. We started off in the beginning with our topic, which was to go for it. Spring means beginnings. And this is a beginning for Lewisham speakers going online. I think that we really went for it today. We had entertainment, we had energy, and we just had really great engagement. So give yourselves a hand, everybody. I think we did really good. And I now pass back over to our super duper president, Phil Reynolds. Phil.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, and to all of you for coming out and bearing with us as we all, as Julie said, as we all struggled a bit with the internet and computers and microphones and things. So yeah, I think, you know, yeah, we've had a few growing pains, but I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you have as well. Yeah, as Mark says, we are due for renewal. So if you haven't yet paid your memberships for the next 6 to 12 months, then do please get in touch with Mark. Because obviously, you know, we'll still be here and you're still welcome to come, but you're not able to, if you don't renew your membership, you won't be able to access pathways, you won't be able to keep speaking, you won't be able to take roles, and that would be a real shame. We had our area, we had a couple of us were at the area contest on Saturday, just gone. Nadine and Donovan talked a bit about it. Donovan and Nadine were our champions, you might remember from the last meeting. They both did an absolutely fantastic job in Beckenham. Unfortunately, they didn't go through to the next round, but they did an absolutely amazing job. And yeah, you know, Nadine was, yeah, give her a round of applause, everybody. Yeah, Nadine was being very modest. She did an absolutely amazing job, and she was up against some really other really fantastic evaluators. So yeah, they both did their club proud, and yeah, it was really lovely to see them there. And we've had some guests this evening, some virtual guests. So yeah, I'd love to just hear you just go to each and just hear your thoughts on the meeting. And maybe, I think for some of you guys, it might have been your first experience of an online meeting as well. So Annalise, any thoughts and reflections from tonight?
Hello, everybody. Hello again. For me, it was very interesting because I have attended online meetings before, but with people that I know, because I feel I know you a little bit. I saw some of you on Saturday. I can really see that even with an online meeting, the personality shows. I can recognize clearly Richard or Donovan, Phil, Nadine. So Deborah, who joined was playing with their oud earlier. So it's quite interesting. As I say, on Saturday, we experienced an online meeting with Experience French on Monday morning. We did actually an hybrid one. So we had people online with Zoom and some people in the room. It works very well, so it was interesting to try out. But the next one will be fully online, and I picked up some ideas of particular things to see before the meeting, yes. So thank you very much for having me.
Haroon, any, I know, appreciate you only joined for the second half, but any thoughts?
Hi, everybody. Sorry, we had our first online committee meeting today with the Zoom to be able to discuss what we're going to do, because we're planning to do our first meeting next week, next Thursday, hopefully. I missed, that's why the first part of it too. But so far what I see is I really enjoyed it, actually. It was really looked like I was there with you guys in a room. So I know some of you already, but you know, as Annalise mentioned too, you could see that personalities, that's one of the concerns for everybody, I think, that whether we would be okay to kind of to talk on, you know, talking to a camera rather than to speaking in front of an audience. I didn't really see too much difference, to be honest with you guys. You did very well. I really enjoyed it. I kind of take some notes for myself for all meetings. So please feel free to join for all ones too next week. Hopefully, I will try to join to Bromley ones tomorrow to be able to see what everybody is doing. And if we could try to find, I think we are all learning, to be honest, in this process. And as we kind of see each other's meeting too, hopefully we will kind of learn good things and try to adapt it to in our teams to be able to make it a successful meetings in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Haroon. And finally, Deborah.
But I've unmuted. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. So I've just been online with Bromley Speakers Committee and done my first ever Zoom. I was totally against doing Zoom meetings. I didn't want to do it at all. I was pretty stressed out with everything that was going on in my personal world, but I was persuaded to do it, and actually I'm amazed at how good it is. And then I just got a message after we finished our committee meeting in preparation for tomorrow night's meeting on Zoom to say that you guys were doing it. So I thought I'm going to jump in here and see how it's going. So it looks like you've had a great meeting online. I do think that it's actually going to work a lot better than I personally thought it would. Although I didn't see your meeting, but I've just had that committee meeting. It's just so good, actually. And I think it's good to keep the enthusiasm going, keep everyone connected. Yeah, I'm really quite impressed with Zoom, actually. It's really good. So thank you for letting me join, and please join us tomorrow if you can. Obviously it's our first one, and we're just going to be like seeing how it goes, but please join us if you can. We'd love to have you with us. Thank you.
Haroon and Deborah, if you're able to circulate, and Annalise as well, if you're able to circulate links to your meetings, then let us know and I'll share it with Lewisham speakers. And yeah, it'd be great to for us all to be crossing over and popping up in each other's Zoom meetings for the next few months.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's almost everything. Obviously, the next agenda is up for grabs. So if anyone wants to, I think Mark Wood's down to speak. But if anyone else wants to give a speech or take a role, then please either message me privately or publicly in the sidebar, or send me a WhatsApp, and we'll go from there. But thanks so much for coming out, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, thanks everyone.
Cheers.
I think Peter would like to